ploughed over the city of Carthage and sowed salt into the soil. Ladies and gentlemen, today we will be embarking on an adventure in ancient times. The young man responsible for the topic of the Third Punic War is Marcus. Please share with the others all the information you have gathered on this subject.
Rome and Carthage in North Africa had already clashed twice in the 3rd century before Christ. The main reasons for this were to seize possession of territories and control over commerce. Rome had triumphed in both those legendary wars. The Second Punic War ended with a humiliating peace treaty in 201 BC. Carthage had to give up Hispania, pay an enormous amount of indemnity, and hand over its entire fleet to Rome. Conditions also included the stipulation that Carthage could not enter into war, not even in North Africa, without the consent of the Roman Senate. However, in the next few decades, Carthage made a recovery, as it had before, and its economy strengthened. Many considered that Rome could only be safe and prosperous with Carthage destroyed. One of the key advocates of this position was an experienced statesman called Marcus Porcius Cato, who suggested that their rival be eliminated at the end of every speech he gave. The Romans soon found an excuse to attack. Numidia, in North Africa, laid its eyes on the territory of its neighbor, Carthage. Even Rome supported its plans for conquest. The Punics took up arms, of course, to fight back the threat. Rome interpreted their action as a violation of the established peace treaty and attacked Carthage in 149 BC. The siege was not successful for quite some time. However, in 147 BC, troops led by Publius Cornelius Scipio Aemilianus Africanus Minor surrounded the city, and as a result of the famine thus caused, the Carthaginians surrendered in the end. The Romans wanted to be done with Carthage for good now, so they sold those left alive into slavery, destroyed the city, and even sowed the land with salt to make it barren.
What? Romans sowed the lands of Carthage with salt? What nonsense! Let's have a look into this misconception. There is no ancient source that contains the notion of sowing the lands of Carthage with salt. The historian Appian, who dealt with this matter in detail, only recounts that the Romans cursed the lands and forbade anyone living there. In addition, no ancient source mentions the sowing of any land with salt. Most likely, it was a biblical story that formed the basis for making the lands barren by sowing them with salt. And we are also aware of the fact that medieval chroniclers were likely to be inspired by the Bible. It seems that the scene of sowing a land with salt came from there. This may also be why it was written that a feared king of the Huns used the same impressive-looking method. Furthermore, sowing the lands with salt is not that realistic either. How could the Romans have shipped enough salt to Carthage to suffice for the entire area in and around the city? Also, salt was once used by the Romans as a currency. It is where the word salary originates. So, such an incredible waste of this valuable mineral would have been even more incomprehensible. Misconception. Would you write the fact that we learned about today on the blackboard, please?